Epstein and Madoff, the magicians of black money. When history remembers figures like Jeffrey Epstein and Bernard Madoff, the mainstream narrative is carefully curated. Epstein is presented as a predator who abused young girls. Madoff is remembered as the mastermind of a Ponzi scheme. But these simplified stories conceal far more than they reveal. Both men, in different ways, served as financial magicians for the hidden machinery of global power. Epstein, the shadow banker of the elite. Jeffrey Epstein was never just a playboy financier with a taste for the company of the rich and famous. His real function was more sinister. He operated as a money-laundering hub for billionaires, powerful corporations, and intelligence agencies. His private island, mansions, and airplanes were not merely for indulgence, but for control, a system of entrapment and leverage over politicians, businessmen, and royals. Yet the public was steered toward only one angle: underage girls. This scandal was sensational enough to fill headlines, but narrow enough to protect the deeper truth. The Epstein machine existed not only to exploit bodies, but to clean money, converting black funds into usable assets, financing secret operations, and shielding the ultra-wealthy from exposure. Madoff, the disappearing $70 billion. Bernard Madoff is remembered as the man who defrauded investors of $70 billion in the world's largest Ponzi scheme. But ask yourself, how can such a vast sum simply disappear? Money does not evaporate. It circulates, changes hands, and leaves trails. The fact that no serious attempt was made to follow these flows suggests that Madoff, like Epstein, was protecting powerful interests. Madoff's scheme conveniently absorbed and redistributed dirty money across borders, banks, and accounts, while the story was sold to the public as a tragic tale of greed and gullible investors. Just as with Epstein, the focus was diverted from the system he served to the individual who supposedly acted alone. The common thread: controlled scandals. The parallels between Epstein and Madoff are striking. Both were connected to intelligence networks. Both laundered vast sums of money for elites. Both scandals were reduced to digestible media narratives. In neither case did authorities seriously follow the money. These were not isolated criminals. They were instruments, nodes in a hidden financial network that sustains the deep state, funds covert operations, and maintains the wealth of the untouchables. The illusion of justice. The greatest trick was not their frauds, but the illusion of accountability. Epstein was imprisoned only to conveniently kill himself before trial. Madoff was sentenced to prison, but the real beneficiaries of his schemes, the ones who received and recycled the billions, were never touched. In both cases, the fall guy was sacrificed to protect the structure. The scandal was framed to shock, but not to reveal. The magicians performed their tricks, and when the show was over, the curtains closed before anyone could see where the money really went. Conclusion: the trail never followed. The lesson is clear. When billions vanish, when power brokers walk away untouched, and when the narrative is carefully restricted, we are not looking at mere criminal enterprises, but at systemic operations. Epstein and Madoff were not anomalies. They were necessary components of a machinery that launders money, controls assets, and manipulates politics on a global scale. The question that should haunt us is simple. Why has no one ever been allowed to follow the money? Because to do so would be to expose the hidden architecture of modern power itself.